All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Season 59 SMJHL Awards, presented by myself. I'm Agent Smith, and my co-host tonight is Trashy. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey. Yep. It's actually Trashay because the
Trashy.
AE makes it classy.
Oh, that's right.
Just you like to point that out real quick.
There you go.
Yeah. So I'm co-hosting. It also happened to be co-GM of the Knights.
Hell yeah. All right. Any awards that you're looking forward to hearing about tonight?
Well, obviously, every single award that has a knight nominated.
That's right.
First of all, but then also as a defenseman myself, I'm curious about the Alexis Metzler, which is the best defensive defenseman.
All right.
As a note of personal interest.
All right, and I think you and your fellow GM are up for the GM of the Year award as well. Am I correct with that?
Yes, sir.
Ah,
And
that's
actually, previous regime won it last season as well.
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, best of luck to you. And a little bit later on in the show, we'll be welcoming in Lapois to do some all rookies and the all-star teams. So stay tuned for that. As a reminder to everyone, we're going to try and explain the reasoning behind all of these awards and what a nomination means, and just because you or someone wasn't nominated, it's not a slight against them. It's not a slight against you. We're here to celebrate the league and these players, and not be using the lack of a nomination to bash anyone. So just remember to be nice. And with that, we're going to move on to our first one, in which we're celebrating the regular season team awards. We have some big congratulations for the four-star cup champions, the Kelowna Knights. Um, what do you have to say for yourself,
I'm
Shay?
just glad it finally happened, especially after last season was really rough way to bow out.
Yeah,
I think it was the semis was when we lost to QCC, who ended up going on to win it all. But still, it was we two consecutive 100-point seasons. We wanted some hardware to show for it. So happy it happened.
that's right. That's right. We also have to give a big shout out to the Eastern champs, Anchorage, and again to Kelowna for claiming that Western Championship trophy, and also to Kelowna for the Lorfer Trophy. An incredible season, 102 points, 49 wins, 13 losses, and 4 overtime losses. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was start to finish. We really liked how it went. Um, Nothing more to say. Just happy it turned out well for us this time in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and we'll move on to the individual awards for this season. Receiving the Jared Hansen Award, which is the scoring champ, all points, is Pablo Salvatierci, Jephawks out of Anchorage, who had a total of a very nice 69 points. Taking home the Robert Martucci Award, which is our goal leader, is Kermit Murphy, Notorious Tig out of Detroit, who had 30 goals on the season. The Ronan O'Keefe Award, which is our playoff point champion, goes to Cole Carter out of Anchorage, who had 21 points in 20 games, which is pretty impressive. So 7 goals and 14 assists. And then our Matt Lewis Flood Trophy, which is the top team save percentage in the regular season, goes to Bloody Oath and Bigga For You. That's Das Boot and Uber BJ out of Maine. Congratulations to them with a .915 save percentage. Barely beating out, I think it was Anaheim, who was only behind them by .0002, their team save percentage. So congratulations to Maine.
Oof, yeah, and that's they also had like a 1A 1B setup.
Yep.
I think both of them were over 30 games played.
Yep. Yeah. No, they definitely shared time. Toast was made sure to split that time because they were both pretty active in the locker room. So we wanted to make sure that they had their fair share. All right. Our first award of the night is the Alex Light Trophy for Most Improved. We'll run down the list here. Our top nominees are Ko Satome from Kelowna, Cole Carter from Anchorage, and Gregory Good from the Anchorage, also from Anchorage. Carter had a 46-point improvement from last season. Good had a 30-point improvement, and Satome had a 31-point improvement. We take a look at some of their stats here. We can see that Gregory Good had an incredible 23 minutes on the ice on average per night, and we had Cole Carter with just over 18 minutes, and Satome a little bit fewer. I think she was running on the second line, so makes
Actually,
sense.
that was on our
The
third line.
third line, oh wow,
Yep.
even more impressive then.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it was about 3.5, 4 minutes more than last season.
Very
Uh,
nice.
yeah, that was super awesome. This is one in particular, even of all the nights ones. I'm very curious to see where we end up. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, everyone more or less at least doubled their point total, which was awesome to
yeah,
see
it's
here.
absolutely incredible. Yeah, so we ready? Who do you think is gonna take this one home?
I think it's going to be Cole Carter, even though obviously my heart wants Sautomi. But I mean, going to get over a or pardon me, to go from 22 points last season to over a point per game this season, and like gain a bunch of extra ice time and just overall across the board, um, everything more or less doubled with only a couple more minutes of ice time. So the
Yeah,
efficiency was also through the roof.
yeah, no, and I have to agree, and so did the committee. Cole Carter, congratulations on winning the Alex Light Trophy for Most Improved. Uh, very, very good season for you.
No,
Absolutely.
hey, congrats.
Yeah, yeah, huge season. So, all right, on to our next one, our Zach Miller Trophy for Most Dedicated Player. Our three nominees, we have Drunken Teddy, Luke Bluin out of Detroit, Marcel Beck, that's Bytor out of St. Louis, and Jack Micro, Wildfire Micro from Anaheim.
Yeah, so I think Drunken Teddy being here is almost unfair
Mm-hmm.
because I would just kind of enough said about him with what he does for the league as a whole. I mean, he's part of the reason he keeps the lights running.
Mm-hmm.
But going a little bit deeper into Wildfire Micro and Bytor, Wildfire Micro, who's an HO intern, he was a World Junior Cup GM this past season, which technically doesn't count, but I absolutely give him brownie points for that as someone
Yeah,
that's done that a few times.
absolutely.
Both of them are absolutely media machines, just cranking out a whole ton of stuff.
Yep.
In particular, I enjoy Micro's podcast, but Bytor also does a ton of really cool just data
Yep.
stuff,
Yep.
which is really awesome to see as a professional nerd myself.
Yep. Absolutely. Um,
Uh,
yeah, and a lot of people are gonna say, well, Drunken Teddy, he did the index. Well, he wasn't alone in doing the index. He was a huge part of it. And I have to give a huge shout out to the index team, everyone that worked on that. Looks absolutely incredible. I know it's still a work in progress, but it's definitely a great thing to have. Um, yeah, Bytor's TPE series is absolutely an incredible read. I always look forward to reading that whenever he puts one out. So, big props to everyone on here. Um, we are recognizing your dedication to the SHL. Just getting a nom is incredible. Um, so it's definitely well deserved to everyone here. Who do you think is going to take this one home?
uh, I think it's I think it's going to be Micro.
Okay. All right.
So let's see if I'm 2 for 2 here.
You are not. No, it goes to Teddy. Not really
Yep.
a huge surprise given all the index work that happened. It came out just a little bit too late last season for it to be counted in last season's awards. So this season it was really a whole lot of people thinking about that when awards came around, and so yeah, not too surprising, but big props to all the other nominees as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Makes a ton of sense. And then for me, I really appreciate just the day to day stuff that the other guys are doing as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, our next award is the Nour Harrak Award for the best GM duo. Our three GM pairings that are nominated this year are Gabe and Wearing a Bear from Anchorage, Nausu and yourself, Trashe, and Namlet and Juke. Congratulations to our nominees. Some of the committee's reasonings behind these. Anchorage has made 2 Cup finals in the past 3 seasons, and in the one season they didn't make it, they finished 5th. So a nice bounce back season for these GMs after their 5th place finish last year, coming back to the top 3, making it to the finals again. Their hit last year is not something that got them down. So their ability to bounce back, and again, most of the nominations mentioned their fact that they've been a cup contender for the past 3 seasons.
Yeah, I also love how they've been drafting, building the team. They're not heavy like Newfoundland or Kelowna is on a particular draft class or two.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically each of the past 3 classes have like 6 players from each of them, so they're really built up to sustain that success.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job managing and not really ever having a season where they take a huge hit, and seeing that kind of entering a rebuild phase. They're always competitive, which is exciting to see, especially in the J when the turnover rate is so high. For Newfoundland, they rebounded from 12th, the last place finish 2 seasons ago, to finish 3rd back to back in the past 2 seasons. A lot of the committee shouted out their really smart drafting. Their rookies have high retention. They have one of the most active locker rooms in the J, and their 9 rookies last season means that they were competing at only really a maximum of 350 TPE this season, and to be as competitive as they were, I think that stood out to a lot of the members of the committee after finishing last place 2 seasons ago. So
yeah, and also with that, I mean, their championship window I think started last season. Because I know just being going against them in the semifinals, we were sweating some of those matchups. Though testing, we were favored, but not as heavily as someone might think. If you just look at the regular season standings of the 2 teams,
right.
Yeah, I mean, so Newfoundland these next few seasons, they've been making noise, but I expect them to be serious front runners for the cup.
Right. Yeah. And I, as someone who is a Maine alum, I have to really shake my fist at Newfoundland because, they're always the ones who knock us out of the playoffs. And so, I hate seeing them do well, but they've been good for so long. It's hard not to appreciate their success. So
Yeah, especially the bounce from last to almost first.
Yeah, they finished 12th 2 seasons ago, and then this season and last season they finished 3rd overall, which is just an incredible recovery from having their one-off season. So, and our final nominees from Kelowna, congratulations to you, Trashe, and to
Thank
Nausu
you.
as well. A lot of them the committee has said, you guys have been strong for the past 3 seasons, but this award looks at the past 3 seasons, and so the fact that you've been as strong as you have been, and a lot of the people are like, they're new GMs, they inherited, but you didn't show any signs of drop off. Like you kept your team strong and were able to push through and win the cup. So it's definitely shows the strength on your part to keep your team together and not see any drop off with the changing of hands in the GM position. So big props to you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you very much. I'm gonna stay slightly mum myself, not to toot my own horn too much here, but I'm curious to see where this award goes. I've obviously have my pick of me.
Yes, of course. And the committee actually ended up going with Namlet and Juke out of Newfoundland.
Oh,
I think their work to basically rebuild from 2 seasons ago, from 12th to then finish third in the season, 2 seasons in a row, is just, I think that's what really stuck out to them, and big props to them. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I give them absolute credit. They deserve it, especially just looking at them for this award. There's clear it's a plan. They're realizing it. Yeah, like I said, they will compete this season and for the next couple.
yep, absolutely. All right, for our next one, we move on to the Brandon Holmes Trophy for the top defensive forward. So this one looks at forwards who may not have had great offensive stats, but better defensive stats. So they're looking at hits and their giveaway and takeaway ratio and their shots blocked compared to their fellow forwards, and even compared to some defensemen, because you really have to think about how does a forward who plays more on the defensive side perform compared to those defensemen. So our three nominees this evening are Nike Kicks Jr. from Newfoundland, Jonathan Grenstrom from the Detroit Falcons, and Eero Makinen Jr. from Colorado.
Yeah, so actually, we're looking at this. The big thing that stood out to me with these guys, it is all of them. Obviously, I mean, defensive forward, they all logged heavy shorthanded minutes.
Yep.
But like in particular, Nike and McKinnon both had about 10% or more of their total ice time was shorthanded.
Yeah, which is just
and so
incredible.
The fact that they were, honestly able to do anything offensively under those circumstances is impressive to me. But sticking with the defensive forward,
Yep.
I mean, all three of them improved the team's goals allowed against was improved with them on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Makinen's shot blocks just second in the league.
And he led all forwards in block shots, which is incredible. His giveaway and takeaway ratio is even, which is incredible as well. I have to really shout out the that giveaway takeaway ratio of Nike Kicks Jr.
Yes. Oh my God.
Just an absolutely incredible 2.0 ratio there. Just as a defenseman, that's something that I want, and seeing that on a forward is just like, it's mind blowing. So big props to them.
Yeah, and so actually with that 2-to-1 takeaway to giveaway, that makes him to me the clear front runner for this.
Okay.
Just because of like completely off the wall ridiculous.
Yeah. And we have to also mention big shout out to Makinen getting his second nomination in a row for this award. He actually won this award last season. So big props to him to having two very strong back-to-back seasons as a defensive forward. So you think Kicks is going to take this one?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay. And the Brandon Holmes Trophy goes to Eero Makinen Jr. Congratulations on your back-to-back victory as top defensive forward in the league.
Oh, yeah. Well done.
Yeah,
if you want to put that full redistribution, come over to defense. It's right over here on the
That's
side
right.
Of the
ice. Yeah. Now's your opportunity. Yeah, he an absolute monster of a back-checking forward. So absolutely something to look up to, someone to model your game after if you are looking for this kind of player. So big props. All right, our next one is our Ron Bolt Trophy for most sportsmanlike player. And just an announcement that this is the last awarding of the Ron Bolt Trophy. We have decided to take away this trophy. It's it's one of those that's, has come down to it's almost uh it's not a dumb award, but a lot of people are like, why is this even an award at this point? It's kind of morphed from being, I feel like it used to be more of a, you know, how is the user sportsmanlike? But then that's hard to judge, especially if you don't share a locker room with them. And so it morphed from that into a how many hits do they have base and how many penalty minutes do they have. So it's definitely a trend that you see in these nominations. Big Boss from Quebec City, Macris the Tater Jaeger from Vancouver, and Vlastislav Malik from Kelowna all have decent hits and very, very few penalty minutes.
I will say, and I hate to say this about my own guy, but Vlastislav Malik, him having more penalty minutes than any of the other nominees combined, really, I think kind of precludes him from this, especially when, sure, he has about twice as many hits, but at least 3 times as many penalty minutes.
Right.
But that being said, I mean, just looking at everyone with this award, I've got to go with the 0 penalty minutes.
Mhm.
I mean, 15 and a half minutes, fewest time of ice, but he still played over 1,000 minutes this season.
Yep.
To not accumulate a single penalty minute,
Yep.
is impressive.
And to just so people know, he did play all 66 games. So he played over 15 and a half minutes a night, all 66 games, and no penalty minutes. It's incredible, the fact that he was able to put up those numbers and take no penalties. I do have to say that I am a big fan of the fact that Malik had over 100 hits and still had less than 10 penalty minutes. That's impressive in itself. So, big shout out to them as well. So you think Big Boss is going to take it just because he had no penalty minutes?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, it's the time on ice doesn't quite tell the story. Like, it's still less than 200 minutes difference between him and Macris.
Mhm.
So, like,
Okay.
it's not massive in the grand scheme of things.
Right. Yep. Well, the committee agrees with you. Congrats to Big Boss out of Quebec City on your Ron Bolt Trophy, the last ever to be awarded. That's a pretty big thing to be awarded
Yeah.
the last ever award of something. So, big congrats to him, and hopefully he can continue his penalty-free ways in the future. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm 2 for 5 for those that are keeping score.
Yep. That's right. Our next award is the Alexis Metzler Trophy for Best Defensive Defenseman. We have 2 nominations from Newfoundland, Pasta the Turtle and Billy Brooks, and Luc Bluin from Detroit. A lot of very good players, a lot of very good defensive stats. Just some very, very strong candidates here. What do you have to say about them?
Yeah, so I mean, first thing that stands out is kind of everyone is positive in that takeaway to giveaway,
Mhm.
which is I've talked about a few times here. That's huge for me. No one was really sheltered. Everyone, Billy Brooks playing the fewest minutes at 19 a game. Like they're still all logging heavy minutes and contributing on their teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then also, actually, Luke Bluin of all the three of these guys had the fewest shorthanded minutes at about 1 minute and 8 seconds a game.
Interesting.
Both the other guys were 1 minute 20 plus.
Oh wow.
So I mean, yeah, logged some heavy time on the penalty pardon me, on the penalty kill, which I mean, that is where defense is hardest to play.
That's right. Yep.
And so yeah, I mean, with that in mind, they're all incredibly impressive. Unfortunately, Billy Brooks' 100 penalty minutes does kind of stick out
Yeah,
because your best ability is availability.
A lot of penalty minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think for me, those penalty minutes almost make him more of a liability on the ice than a good defenseman. Like he had really good defensive stats. Oh, and to note that Pasta the Turtle and Billy Brooks played on different lines, so they were
Yeah.
not line mates. Um, so yeah, his Billy Brooks's penalty minutes make him hard to say he was anything other than a goon, because I feel like 100 penalty minutes is a lot. Like that's just a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like Pasta and Luke have better chances at this one. Sorry, Billy. Um, who do you think is going to take this one?
So this one, I'm gonna go with Pasta. Even though significantly less ice time
Okay.
than Luke, but you played more time on the penalty kill. Um, and then also, I mean, just still going over 2-1 on takeaway to giveaway.
Okay.
I think trumps the +19 differential that Luke has.
Right. I tend to agree with you. I think that Pasta stands out as a little bit stronger of a candidate. However, the committee felt differently, and congratulations to Luke Bluin on winning this year's Alexis Metzler Trophy. Definitely a very, very strong defensive season. Everyone on this list deserved their nomination, but Luke managed to stand out just a little bit more to those nominees or to the committee. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, and that's 2 for Teddy.
That's right. Yeah, he's got the most dedicated and best defensive defenseman. Yeah, props to him. All right, our next award is the Quilha Agante Trophy for best defenseman, just straight up best defenseman. So this is, takes into account their offensive stats as well as their defensive stats. Our 3 nominees this evening are Michael Scotch from Kelowna, Gregory Good from Anchorage, and Richard Lafleur from Kelowna. What do you have to say about your boys?
Well, I love to see him here and think both of them are well deserved. I mean, we had a particularly, I mean, Michael Scotch was able to produce 45 points this season. As you know, my players never. I think I've reached half a point a game once. So for him to almost hit 2/3, or I guess for him to almost hit 50 points.
Yeah,
Sticking with the Knights, Lafleur also was really awesome. Didn't not as productive. Not pardon me. Didn't produce as much on the score sheet,
hmm
but still did a phenomenal job. Um, for example, going into some of the deeper sets, Lafleur had 40 shots for per 60 against 20 shots against per 60 when he was on the ice.
right.
Certainly a team stat, but I mean his presence clearly elevated the team.
Yeah,
In there, just Scotch to a slightly lesser degree, but he also had more points production.
right.
And then Gregory Good led all defensemen in points.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, 55 points is also nothing to shake at. He was 2 ahead of Robert Feltersnatch, who was second, but he was actually Scotch was third amongst defensemen and 10 points behind Gregory Good
Right. So, yeah, it tells you
for
how good
scoring.
a season both
Yeah,
Feltersnatch and Good had in as defensemen. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I don't know how I like as this being an all-around defenseman award, seeing the 17 hits. Um, I guess hits aren't everything as a defenseman, but that seems kind of low compared to the other two. Um, Lafleur was the only, or I guess Scotch was the only one who didn't have a positive giveaway takeaway ratio.
had like
Um,
a very negative one.
yeah, very negative. Although I have to say, Good's shot blocks number is pretty impressive as compared to the
Hmm.
other two. All had decently low penalty minutes. All of them were positive. All of them were definitely good offensive forces for the teams. Um, who do you think takes this one?
I think it goes to Gregory Good.
Okay.
Um, I like Lafleur a bit more as an all around player, but I mean, being a full 15 points behind at a certain point,
Yeah.
Good more than makes up for some of the areas where I might favor Lafleur with just the sheer offensive production he brings to the table.
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And so did the committee. Congratulations to Gregory Good on winning the Quilha Agante trophy this season. Just a fantastic season for a defenseman. Um, just barely under a point per game. He's just a great force on a team that performed very well this season. So, um, yeah, absolutely well deserved. So, all right, our next award, the Cedric Robinson for best goalie. Our 3 nominees this year are Yano Rosejak from the Colorado Raptors, Olaf Karsikko from Vancouver, and Vincent Metzler from Anaheim.
Right, and so obviously, I mean, people have talked about Yano Rosejak and what he was able to do. And personally, I'm also happy to see him leaving the J.
I can imagine. Yeah, he
yeah.
was basically a brick wall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And more is not just this season, but kind of on balance. But sticking it with this season, I mean, yeah, Yano Rosejak's what sticks out to me is one, having a positive record. And then, but also playing 57 games out of a total of 66.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what Maine did with their 1A 1B. Like
That's
Rosejak
right.
was the guy, and they rode him as much as they could.
Yep. Yeah, they got their backup games in and said, "That's it. We're playing Rosejak for the rest of it." It's yeah, seeing the fact that he's the only one with a positive record on here is pretty impressive. How do you feel about the rookie Olaf Karsikko being on this list?
So I think it is well deserved.
Yeah.
Especially at how kind of overall, for whatever reason this season, in the J, there were more goals scored, so goalies were kind of left high and dry a lot of times by the sim engine this past season.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I think, it's impressive as a rookie to, one, be nominated, especially as a goalie, but two, I think it's even more impressive. Yeah, I think he does belong on this list as a nomination.
Yeah, absolutely. The I have to say that I love the fact that Karsikko, being a rookie, made this list. He um, split time from Arcs was still in Vancouver, right? Or is he? I think so, right? He split time with Arcs.
I want to say yes.
Yeah, so definitely had the mentoring of last season's winner. So it's definitely good to see, and the fact that the argument of goalies don't really matter because the TP or goalie TP doesn't matter, and all of the arguments that can be made for or against goalies. The fact that a rookie posted a 920 save percentage facing over 1,000 shots is just incredible, and 2 shutouts,
it's massive.
He played so well. Yeah.
Yeah, like normally you'll see I don't know who Colorado's backup was offhand, but don't see like a goalie, they only post a .920, in that limited sample size, but
right.
Playing half the season, going in there.
Yep.
That was absolutely phenomenal. Especially, and I say this coming from a team where I don't think we had a team. I think Kelowna's team save percentage was under 900.
Yeah.
So Karsikko would have absolutely been a boon for us.
Right. Yeah. So, who do you think takes it?
I think it's going to go to Anaheim with Vincent Metzler. Having slightly better stats across the board. Yes, fewer games played, but matched him in shutouts with 13 fewer opportunities to do that.
Right, and a better save percentage, even with it being 200 less shots, 250 less shots. Having that better save percentage, I think, is pretty impressive too. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, didn't write it down. But I did the math. And he also faced more shots per game than the other two. I think it was like 34 to the other guys who were right around 31.
Oh wow.
So I mean, even that I feel like that more than makes up for the 13 more games that Rosejak played.
Right.
Now, certainly, if it was which goalie was more important to their team, I'd go Rosejak. But in terms of who was the best with the opportunities that they got, that's who I'm going with.
Yeah, and I do have some GSAA numbers if we want to hear them. Jana Rosejak had an 11.5 GSAA. Karsico had a 12.6 or 12.7, and then Vin blew them all out of the water with a 21.5 GSAA.
Oof. That's
absolutely mind-blowing, those numbers. So big props to him, and the committee felt that he was clearly the winner of this, and I think we kind of got to that point too. Congratulations, Vin, out of Anaheim, for winning the Cedric Robinson this season. Just an incredible season from you. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is I guess we already know, but yeah, he's up for a best rookie and very much deserves to be there as well.
Yep, yeah, Karsico, yep. All right, on to the Vyacheslav Onoprienko trophy for most underrated player. We had a lot of nominations this season, more than in past seasons, which I have to say props to the GMs. This award comes from GMs who submit nominations. They pick one person from their team and choose why they think they are the most underrated player, and then the committee takes all of those nominations and debates them, and then puts forward their top three. So I have to say congratulations to Daryl Urquhart from St. Louis, JJ Jamerson Angler, one of the best names in the league, by the way, from Maine, and Shion Okamoto from Newfoundland, for not only getting your noms from your GMs, but for standing out to the committee this season. And I will read the nominations that we have for these three. We'll start with Daryl. Despite real-life challenges rendering him inactive for almost a full season, where he lost his SHL contract and spent most of the season with his 350 TPE build, he still got 23 assists this season and knocked in 4 goals, being a great player on the ice. Since his return, his mentorship has been at an all-time high by helping the rookies and new people and setting the tone in the locker room. We feel that he is a perfect example of what this award represents, a hard-working player who still thinks and acts for his team even when he can't always be more active in the league. Urk is the St. Louis Scarecrows Onoprienko nominee. For Maine, while his player name is enough to warrant the nomination, we wanted to acknowledge Team Use's contribution to the team with this nomination. Since signing as a DFA in Maine in Season 58, Team Use has been a solid part of the locker room, but in 59 it grew to more than that. As a natural leader, Team Use took it upon himself to begin tracking tasks for his fellow rookies and being a positive voice in the locker room when things were struggling a bit for the trees. Alongside his extra work in the locker room, Team Use has demonstrated that he can offer a ton to the league. In the first few days of his rookie campaign, he built an SHL TPE tracker that functions much like the one in the ISFL, and would become part of the development team to assist in that capacity as well. Team Use has done all this quietly in the league, as I don't believe he is a member that many may be aware of. He somehow slipped to the second round in the draft for us, and we are absolutely thrilled. He's someone who I know dealt with some rough times through the season, but did everything in his power to still be there for his teammates. We can't imagine the Timber without Joe JJJ and his hope the awards committee will consider him for this award. And then for Shion, Shion has been overlooked from the start. He wasn't drafted until 50th overall in the J draft, and it was just 2 off seasons ago that Shion went completely undrafted in the SHL, being passed on by every team. It was a great thing to see last season that he didn't let it get him down and continued to earn and build his player. However, this season his efforts really took off and is easily one of the most active members on our team. For starters, he climbed all the way back to 30th in his class in TPE, despite missing about 2 to 3 weeks, and is now ahead in TPE of 14 players in his class that were drafted over him. He has a great locker room presence, always chatting with people and building a ton of hype during the live sims, which are always things that were noticed by his teammates since he was voted as team alternate captain by a decent margin of votes. Perhaps most notably, he's just one of a few people on our team that showed interest in learning more about management. This season, we've been involving him in some of the managerial tasks and showing him the things we do behind the scenes. He's been helping out with things such as scouting, the budget sheet, and some general FHM ideas. He's willing to give back to the site as well. Although he's not one of the major contributors, he did help out with a few things on the development side for the index. We think that as a user, he's grown so much in the few seasons he's been in the league, and along with his determination after going undrafted, he would make a great Onoprienko nominee. So, those were the 3 nominations that stood out most to the committee. What do you think?
I think it makes sense. I mean, just without going too far, like each of the GMs for all 3 of these guys clearly sang their praises to the high heavens.
Yeah.
And that being said, hearing those 3 breakdowns, then also kind of doing a little bit of look at what was going on the ice with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Okamoto is my pick from these 3. Yep.
We also have a late positive for Okamoto from a Hockey Wizard in the chat that says, for what it's worth, he was named the Newfoundland Berserker of the Year. So congrats to Okamoto for winning that, sounds like internal award.
Fantastic. It's internal awards. Personally, they're my favorite to earn because they're from the people that truly know and interact with you.
Yep, I agree with that. So you think that that Okamoto is going to take this one home?
Yes, sir. That's let's see if I can get back to 500.
Unfortunately, Daryl Urquhart stood out just a little bit more to the committee. Congratulations to Urquhart for taking home the hotly contested Onoprienko Trophy this season. All of the nominations, even if yours didn't get read on stream here, were very much debated over. All of them were fantastic reasons. All of you deserved this trophy. So very much congratulations to the nominations and to Daryl for taking home the most underrated player this season.
Yeah, it's there were no wrong. I mean, I think every team has someone that absolutely is deserving of this award. But yeah, these 3, there was no wrong choice here.
Yeah,
but
no,
absolutely congrats to Daryl.
Yep. All right, and now we're going to bring in Lepois for the announcement of our all-rookie team. Are you there?
Guys, what's up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Welcome.
You bet I am. So one thing I gotta ask, because Trips would be mad if I didn't, is what are you guys drinking tonight?
I've stuck with water tonight, just because I'm doing a lot of talking and want to make sure that I'm not going to, stumble over my words more than I usually do. So, sticking with water tonight.
I'm equally boring as well. Although I may take a moment here to go refill my water because I am drinking a lot of it.
All right.
Well, seems like we're all boring tonight, but I wanted to keep the tradition alive.
Fair enough.
Trips.
Yeah, fair enough. We're sad that Trips couldn't be here. He's busy traveling right now, but we remember him fondly from last season.
Very much so.
So, without further ado, the all-rookie team for this season, for the forwards, Latrell McDonald from Anchorage, the Armada, Lev Lebedev from Vancouver, and Hai Hashdi. Oh, I guess I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but Hai Hashdi from the Anaheim Outlaws. So McDonald with 22 goals, that's a lot for a rookie, even playing on Armada, who had a great. He was he had great teammates, of course, but 22 goals and 38 points as a rookie. Lebedev on the Whalers, 18 goals, 17 assists for 35 points, and highest GD, 8-23-31, and an impressive over 70 blocks and 65 hits.
Impressive,
So,
yeah, very much impressive.
Two-way player. For the defenseman, never broke again, young boy from the Vancouver Whalers.
Another
and
phenomenal name.
Phenomenal name. I think it's longer than mine.
It might be close.
I'd have to count them. 34 points as a rookie defenseman over 20 minutes on ice, which is
very impressive as a rookie.
Third highest on Vancouver.
Yep.
And great takeaway to giveaway ratio. That's 28 takeaways and 19 giveaways.
That's very impressive as a rookie.
As a rookie, it's crazy. And Jonathan Hagen from the Outlaws, also a positive takeaway giveaway ratio, 101 shot blocks and 24 points, which is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a rookie defenseman, and well, without it's not a big surprise, of course, Siko as the goalie for the all-rookie team. You already talked about. I mean, he was nominated for goalie of the year as a rookie, was he not?
Yep. Yeah, no, he
So-
definitely not a surprise that he's here, seeing as he was also the best rookie nom or best goalie nom. So, yeah, absolutely, very much well deserved for all of these guys.
So that's your our rookie team, and I'll be back in I think there's only one award between this and the All-Star, the second All-Star team.
I
So
think you're
I'll be
correct.
back in just a few minutes.
That's right. And with that, we move on to our top rookie award, the Asa Anrikkanen, for our top rookie. And you may recognize some of these names as they were just on the previous screen. We have Latrell McDonald from Anchorage, Never Broke Again young boy from Vancouver, and Olaf Karsikko, also from Vancouver. We kind of just got a brief rundown of some stats. Big shout out to McDonald, who led all rookies in points this season. Never Broken Again young boy, who led all rookie defensemen in points. And then Karsikko, who just had an absolutely fantastic season.
Yeah, all these guys, absolutely incredible seasons. As a kind of side note here, I enjoy having a forward, a defenseman, and a goalie.
Yep.
Being nominated makes it kind of hard to compare the nominations, because you don't have like positions. But I mean, to me, Latrell McDonald, absolutely phenomenal. Produced for Anchorage. That was bad. Absolutely was able to produce in relatively limited ice time. I mean, under 14 minutes a game. You're not getting nearly as many opportunities, but still absolutely made the most of them all season long.
Yep.
That
like to shout out the fact that the next nominee, young boy over here, had over 20 minutes of time on ice a game as a rookie. Most rookies are, playing second or third line, getting, between 13 and 15 minutes a night. No, he just went out there and was on the top line and just absolutely crushed it for Vancouver. So, an absolutely stellar season for him, playing in front of the last nom, Karsikko, who we've talked about and doesn't really need anything more said about him. Who do you think's taking this one?
I've got to go Karsikko. I mean, I think the fact that Karsikko was up for another award already today, really shows and highlights how truly exemplary the season was. And then, yeah, as a rookie, even more so, kind of takes it a step further, just how impressive they were able. And also, Vancouver to go from Arcs to Carsico is unfair.
Yeah, it's definitely they've had a stellar goalie selections in the past few seasons, so hard to go wrong with that. The committee took a look at all of these guys and said that they thought Never Broke Again Young Boy was the top rookie this season. Congratulations to D Mills. It's an incredible season from him, helping the Whalers and helping Carsico even get to the season that he had. So, fantastic season from Never Broke Again Young Boy.
Yeah, and I want to say, me kind of extolling the virtues of Carsico. That's not talking down on either of their numbers yet. It's 20 plus minutes as a defenseman and being an asset, let alone not getting exposed as a rookie.
Yep.
Is incredibly impressive.
Yep. And like Mateo said in the chat, Young Boy had some insane advanced stats. One of the only players in Vancouver with a Corsi 4 percentage above 50. And just absolutely fantastic season. So we'll move on to our All-Stars second team. Lapois, are you here?
Did we go too quickly?
I hope not. There he is.
Freaking Mike.
Well, we're glad you're here.
I absolutely am. Not going anywhere. So the second team, let's start with goalies this time. We have my good friend Yano Rosejack from the Colorado Raptors. And this one, and actually most of these on the second team were really close. There was a tie actually on the initial voting for the goalie, and Yano won the tiebreaker in the second round of voting.
Yep.
So great season. We've talked about his stats. He was third in goal saved above average. So a very good season for Yano. In the defenseman, Sean Gates or Gates.
I think it's Gates.
From the Timber.
Yeah.
It's Gates, yeah. From the main Timber, 31 points. Michael Scotch from the Kelowna Knights. Again, it's a guy we've talked about. 12 goals, 33 assists for 45 points this season. Good play all around. One that surprised a lot of us in the committee, as we actually thought he was inactive and it was a mistake from some of our pals, but he's not inactive. Takulu Lakama from the Armada with his 65 points this season. So he was eligible for this, and it's a good thing that some of us saw it.
That's right. Yeah, just under a point per game. Pretty impressive.
And the entire line he was on was also absurd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about some of them. Don't worry. Again,
I imagine they'll come up later.
Yeah.
Jesse Trudeau. Don't know if he's related to our Prime Minister or Premier here in Canada. From the Berserkers, so playing in Newfoundland. It's likely he's related to Justin. 64 points, so also just under a point per game with plus 42, which, I mean, we all know plus and minus.
Most important stat in hockey.
It's not
only if it's going your way.
That's right.
It's not entirely reliable, but plus 42. I mean, it's 42. It's the answer to everything.
That's right.
And Cyan McFelter, another night here, tied for second in points over the season with 68. And that's your second All-Star team. I'll be back with the first one in 2 or 3 awards.
That's
2
right.
awards, yep.
Yep.
So I hope my mic will not fuck me over next time.
That's right. Yeah, very much a great season from all these guys. Very well deserved. Our next award is the Raymond Lindsay, the Players MVP. So this is what you, as the players, get to vote on at the end of the season to award the MVP. The committee MVP will be shown at the end, but this is as voted on by the players. Our 4 top nominees were Kermit Murphy from Detroit, Sion McFelter from Kelowna, Pablo Salvatierra from Anchorage, and Jesse Trudeau from Newfoundland. It's hard to look at this and not immediately get drawn to Salvatierra, who was the points leader this season, just in front of McFelter. But you have to think about what most players look at, or most voters look at when they're doing this voting. So what do you have to say?
So I really enjoy kind of some of the variety here. You talked about Salvatierra led the league in points, Kermit Murphy led the league in goals, and Jesse Trudeau led the league in assists.
And
then
a very good spread.
Yeah. And then McFelter as kind of an MVP candidate also sticks out because he led his team in goals, assists, and was 14 ahead of the next person in points.
Yep.
So kind of, most valuable player. There's a ton of value in just what McFelter gave to the Knights this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, just with that variety, though, it's kind of a pick your poison because every single one of these people has incredibly compelling arguments. That being said, I think it's going to go probably to Kermit Murphy.
You think so?
Yep.
You don't think the masses just decided to go with the points leader like they do most years?
I don't think they did it last year with Mewtwo. Or am I wrong?
Oh, I don't remember. You could be right. I cannot remember who they ended up going with last year. In any case, we have our winner of the Raymond Lindsay, Pablo Salvatierra. Congratulations. Your 69 points was just too good to pass up for most of the league. Nice.
Alright, so moral of the story is if I pick someone, they're guaranteed to lose.
You've gotten a few right.
2.
Yeah, hey, that's better than some people would have guessed.
Fair enough, I'll take it. It's about like before the season starts. That's about how good most people are.
Yeah, no, award winners are usually a crapshoot anyway. So because as the saying goes, sim gonna sim. So with that, congratulations to Pablo Salvatierra once again. We move on to the Elias Armia Award, which is our Commissioner's Award of Excellence. These 3 users, this is a user-based award, not a player-based award, were all nominated and then chosen by Bad Wolf, the SMJHL Commissioner. And I have her nominations here. Our finalists are Valor X77, Vidal Valor, who played for Anaheim, Marco 999, that's Capo Kampainen from Anaheim, and Minnesota Fine, that's Slavikov Vladimirashenko from Newfoundland. And Bad Wolf has this to say: each of these 3 candidates had an impressive nomination on their own, but the common shared theme between them are their traits of resilience, persistence, and determination. Valor has demonstrated unflinching dedication to their beliefs and their ideals. To go undrafted is a difficult obstacle, one that many cannot mentally overcome, and yet Valor refused to let that be the end. They have become a beacon of support for their team and a role model for their teammates. Marco continues to be a foundation for the Outlaws, aiding in all that they can get their hands on. Their assistance with coaching and player development helped the team shatter expectations unlike any other. Beyond that, their test simming and strategy planning was an excellent help for the team. Then, last but not least, Minnesota Fine is a primary example of resilience and determination for the league. With as many applications as months as they've been here, some rejections were inevitable. I think she's talking about job applications. Yet not once did this discourage them. Despite jumping into the deep end feet first, they've excelled at every opportunity. Each of these three are more than deserving of the Elias Armia in their own right. While we can only award it to one, we hope that they all continue to be paragons of dedication in the league. No matter what, we are overwhelmingly excited to see where each of them go in their careers. With that, Bad Wolf is proud to present the Season 59 Commissioner's Award of Excellence to Minnesota Fine. Congratulations, Minnesota
Awesome.
Fine. All three of you are very, very much deserving of this award. And to even be nominated is incredibly impressive. You've really made your mark on not only the league but on the J Commissioner. So big props to you for standing out in that way.
Yeah, awesome. Huge congratulations. And also, since this is yours, I want to shout out Ace for what he's done with the Anaheim locker room.
Yep.
I mean, getting two people put up for this award a couple seasons in for, Anaheim was pretty publicly struggling with some of the locker room activities. So absolutely great shout out to him on some team building, bringing some phenomenal users and players to the team.
Yep, absolutely. Big props to all of them. And again, congratulations to Minnesota Fine for taking this one home. Now we have the SMJHL All-Stars first team.
Is this thing working?
Oh, there you are.
Yes.
Yeah, all
there,
right.
there we go.
First
Okay,
try.
First try this time. So for the first SMJHL All-Star team, I'm gonna start back from the top this time with the forwards. And we have, without a big surprise, two players only for the forwards, two guys from that incredible Anchorage Armada line. Cole Carter with 68 points, tied for second in the league. He also was the winner for the top points in the playoffs. We don't count that for the All-Star teams, but it's interesting to see that we have the leader for the playoffs, the leader of goals in Kermit Murphy for the regular season, and the leader of points, in Pablo Salvatierra as our three forwards. Murphy 30 goals. That's a lot of goals.
Yeah.
And 137 hits too for Murphy. So that's interesting to see that he can also lay people down when he needs to. And Salvatierra when just nice. Nothing else to say but nice.
Yep.
The defenseman Robert Feltersnatch. We used to have him in Colorado. That was a good time.
We're happy we have him in Kelowna.
That's right.
So 53 points for Feltersnatch. And also for the defenseman Gregory Good. I mean, you've talked about him a lot. 80 shot block and 55 points as a defenseman. So very impressive season. And we've talked about that's the thing with these All-Star teams. We get to the end and everyone's already been talked about for the regular awards. But Vincent Meititore from the Outlaws, the over 21 goals saved above average. The closest was Corsico at 12, which already was incredibly impressive for a rookie. But with the way Anaheim played this season, keeping just the goal against average under 3 for Meititore, and the save percentage over 0.920, I guess, is very, very impressive. So that's your first All-Star team for this season. And well, I'm gonna let you finish this off.
Well, we
And
very much appreciate you coming on to announce these, and not surprising to see the names on this list, given the award nominations so far and their results from this season. So congratulations to the All-Stars, and thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for letting the All-Star committee come in for this. Obviously, it's not enough material to do our whole own stream, so
That's
be
right.
able to come here and have these people learn it via stream and not via a post on the forums. It's really a good opportunity, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'm gonna head out to set up my Habs versus Vegas game now.
There you go. Alrighty. Well,
Right.
thanks again for coming on.
See you guys.
All right.
Absolutely, and go Knights, both in the SHL and the NHL.
I disagree with both of these sentiments, but go hockey.
I like that. Let's go do some hockey.
That's right. Go
All right.
hockey.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Adios.
All right. Well, and with that, we'll move on to the Brody Witzel Trophy for our playoffs MVP. And we have a recognizable name here at the top of our list, Cole Carter from Anchorage. We also have Leon Athanasios from Newfoundland and Robut Guliman, I think. Not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but he's from Kelowna. These guys, obviously from teams that performed very well in the playoffs. Anchorage and Kelowna getting to the finals, and Newfoundland getting to the semifinals. Carter led the playoffs with 21 points, and just an absolutely, and that's only in 20 games, so he was more than a point per game, which is impressive in itself. And Leon had 10 goals in only 15 games. I'm not sure why it says
12 games.
I don't know why it says 15 here, but
15 points in 12 games.
15 points in 12 games. Okay. Oh boy.
It's late.
Yeah, and then even though they didn't make it to the finals, he had the most goals in the playoffs, which is impressive in itself. And then Guliman had 17 games played and 16 points, so almost a point per game. And the only second-line skater for Kelowna to put up that many points, keeping up with the first line as they ended up taking the cup. So very, very good series from him. And it's his goals for per 60. The team's goals for per 60 increases by almost double when he's on the ice.
Yeah.
So
no, he is
some incredible presence on the ice. Just very impressive from him. So
yeah, it's he wasn't actually the lead point getter for the Knights. Just talking about Guliman. So I believe Malik was a point per game. But the advanced stats, as you kind of point out, and even if you dig deeper into those, are absolutely through the roof for him.
Right.
And definitely kind of a situation where looking any deeper goes far and above beyond any other candidate, particularly on the Knights.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Who do you think is going to take this one? Who stands out the most to you?
So to me, the most impressive performance is actually Leon, because led the playoffs with 10 goals. Next place had 8 goals. There were a couple Knights and I believe someone in Anchorage with 8 goals, but they all played at least 5 more games.
Right.
And then also Leon led the playoffs in points per game. Points per game with 15 and 12. That's like 1.25 points a game.
Right.
However, this is where I'm going to shed my unbiased opinion. I think a playoff MVP should come from the winning team.
I tend to agree with that, unless it's really like, coming from the first round all the way to the finals, and they, carried them on their back and lost it in 7 kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I definitely agree that usually the MVP should come from the winning team.
Yeah, I would also be remiss if I don't say that Robotic Willman's name is misspelled. It's misspelled in the file as well. It's actually GUI. It's, I believe, a character from Warhammer 40K.
I see. Okay, we'll
But
make sure to get that fixed.
Yeah, he doesn't mind, but every time I see it, it's on the forums and in the file, it's spelled differently.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, he is my pick for this one, just because the advanced stats are ridiculous, and he was on the winning team.
Yeah. I think that as a second liner to even be on this list is incredible, and the committee agrees with you that he definitely outshone the other two when it came to putting the team on his back. Like, just his advanced stats were absolutely insane. And the fact that he, was almost a point per game anyway is incredible. So, congratulations to Guliman on the Brody Witzel this year.
Yeah, huge shout out and congratulations.
Yep, very much well deserved. And our last trophy, our last award for the night, is the Ideen Fala Trophy, which is the award committee MVP. So earlier we had the players MVP, and now we get to see who the award committee thinks is deserving. We've seen all these names before. We didn't really talk about Jesse Trudeau too much, but Salvatierci we talked about. Kermit Murphy, who led the J in goals, and Trudeau, who had a very solid season, an incredible number of assists, 46 assists, and went plus 42. Had only 12 hits, but still was a solid piece for Newfoundland this season. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, as we said, we have the points leader, the assist leader, and the goals leader. Pick your poison. I'm gonna go with Kermit Murphy again as an MVP candidate because I believe Detroit had 3 total players over 20 goals, and the closest one to Kermit Murphy, forget the name, but he only had 22 goals, so he led his team by 8.
Right.
Which just in terms of most valuable player, that to me it was really what sticks out. Salvatierci, he had line mates, that entire line I think had over 65 points or something like that.
Right. I do have to say that really standing out to me was his defensive stats as well. Like, he didn't let his offensive production kind of get in the way of being a force on the defense too. 125 hits, 33 takeaways, which is still a negative giveaway takeaway ratio, but not enormous like Kermit's. And 51 block shots, which is pretty impressive as well. Fifth amongst forwards in hits, whereas some of the other, you look at Kermit, who, had 137 hits, but wasn't quite as impressive with his takeaways. And then Trudeau, his what stood out to the awards committee was his advanced stats. 4.3 goals for per 60 to 1.7 goals against. 42.8 shots for to 18.2 shots against. 65.9 Corsi and a 67.8 Fenwick. Just absolutely incredible numbers when he's on the ice. And I think that really made him stand out to the committee compared to some of the other top scorers that we've seen.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely super valid points. I mean, all 3 of these guys had impressive seasons offensively, and they helping out or aiding the defense is also an important aspect as a forward, and so they all did it to varying degrees. But definitely, as you said, I'm still sticking with Murphy's my pick for the award, though.
Okay. The committee decided to go actually followed the players' MVP on this one and went with Pablo Salvatierra. I have a feeling that the 69 points and the fact that he, played on a fantastic line, but wasn't just average. He played incredibly well this season. Big congratulations to Pablo Salvatierra taking home the Aidin Fala trophy this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge congratulations. Yeah, leading the league in points. Massively impressive. And also as a forward, logging almost 20 minutes a game.
Yep.
Like that is also nothing to shake your stick at.
That's right. And with that, we are finished with the awards this season. Huge congratulations to all of our winners and all of our nominees. Nobody here didn't deserve to be here. Every single person that was in this show, and even some that weren't, deserved to be here. The committee, I know, always has a really tough time deciding. There's usually 5 or 6, nominees, and they have to narrow it down. And so I know that the discussions are always pretty intense every season. So a huge congratulations to everyone. And again, big shout out to Kelowna for winning the cup. And we'll hopefully see everyone next season. Any words to log off for?
No. The last thing I have to say is go Knights. both of the golden and the Kelowna variety.
That's right. I don't follow hockey in real life, so I'm impartial. So, however, go to whoever the underdog is. That's usually who I root for. So, yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see everybody in about a week for the start of preseason, both in the SHL and in the J. Have a good rest of your off season.
Yep. Everyone enjoy the rest of your day, and yeah, everyone enjoy your